Hello and welcome to all of the wonderful women who are joining us today. My name is Jordan and I am here with CFC founder and CEO Leah Swanberg. Leah, who is an experienced surrogate and egg donor herself, has some great information on becoming a surrogate for everyone on the webinar today. Before we get started, we're just going to wait a few more minutes for a few more attendees to join us. I'd like to share that this webinar is being recorded and that everyone who is registered will be sent a direct link to rewatch it. We'll also make it available on our website, our YouTube, and our Facebook pages. At any time through the webinar, please pop your questions into the GoToWebinar Questions tab, and Leah will be answering everyone at the end during a live Q&A session. All right, we're now ready to get started. So Leah, I'll pass it over to you.
Excellent. Thank you, Jordan. So welcome to everyone who's watching this webinar. I wanted to begin these weekly or bi-weekly webinars talking about surrogacy and what an amazing opportunity it is for moms to connect with people who want to become parents just like you did prior to beginning your family or are wanting to add to their families. And so I wanted to walk you through the process with our agency and to encourage you to reach out to us to get started if this is something that's weighing on your heart. So oftentimes I'm asked by intended parents or prospective parents, why would someone want to do this? Who would want to give up their life for a year for me to have a child? And the answer is very simple, and I'm sure it's something that you've been thinking about yourself. Well, you know, my kids are my life. I couldn't imagine, you know, not having children. And so of course I want to do this for someone. Of course I want to help someone become parents or build their family, add to their family. And so if you are one of those people who have had, you know, fairly easy, uncomplicated pregnancies and have delivered those children at, you know, nearly or full term, surrogacy is for you. If you are living in Canada and are a permanent resident or have been here forever, either way, you know, surrogacy is for you. Many times surrogates will reach out to us and say, well, you know, I'm not sure I'd qualify. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I didn't graduate high school, or you know, I have 4 kids and my husband works out of town, so I don't have so much support. Surrogacy is for you. There is no reason or no piece of the puzzle that we can't help support you with and put in place for you. So if you are a single mom or a mom who has a partner who works away and you decide to invest in us and work with us for your surrogacy, we in turn will invest in you and help you to find appropriate childcare for appointments and a nanny service if you were to end up on bed rest or unable to care for your children because of the pregnancy. We have your back when it comes to that. If you are a woman and you are, you know, heavier or had a complication in your pregnancy, or you're just not sure, you know, reach out to us. We will get all of the information from you and take it back to 2 amazing doctors that we work with who will review that information and give us guidance. And it might be, you know, you've had a baby in the last 6 months and it was a C-section, so, you know, let's get your application filled out, but let's also wait 6 months to find intended parents for you, because we want to give your body the best chance at an easy recovery for you. And so our job, while it is to help people become parents, it's also to, you know, encourage, nurture, support you as someone who joins our family and who is a surrogate in our program. So here's what people told us when I asked 10 women this morning, actually, why you became a surrogate. These were some of the answers I received. I became a surrogate to help a gay couple. My brother is gay, however, he is not in a position to have a child yet, but I was still interested in helping. I became a surrogate to help someone who has recovered from cancer but can't carry, because my sister and my mother both had breast cancer, and I feel very close to those to those who have had breast cancer and would want to help somebody who is building their family after surviving cancer. Another woman said, I want to give a child a life I didn't have. I didn't come from the best parents. I try to give my children everything, but I want to help someone who is going to love their child so deeply become parents. So those are just a few examples, and everyone comes to surrogacy with their own reason, their own desire, their own wanting to move through this process. And for some people, it's as simple as, I love pregnancy. I'm done with my own kids, but I'd love to be pregnant again. For myself, having been a surrogate twice and having 5 of my own kids, that was never me. Pregnancy was never easy for me. But I really wanted to participate as a surrogate. And so I muddled through the pregnancy in order to get to that moment where I was able to watch, in my case, 2 women become moms. And it was honestly such a blessing and such an amazing experience that propelled me, pushed me forward to starting Canadian Fertility Consulting. And so if you are a lover of pregnancy or any of the other sort of notes I read from other women, please reach out to us. I'd like to go over a little bit about the process of surrogacy and what that looks like. Many people have told us that they didn't realize it was so intrusive, or there was so much that we would ask in terms of personal questions. And I want to reassure you that we ask the intended parents the same questions. We require the same of them. We want to ensure that people participating in our program, whether surrogates or intended parents, that they really have done their homework and are certain that this is the way that they either want to build their families or the way you would want to help someone build their family. So the process is simple. An intake specialist will fill out an application form with you. And on that application form, you'll talk about everything. You'll talk about your pregnancy history. You'll talk about your kids. You'll talk about your life. You'll share with us your values around termination if there's a medical abnormality. You'll share with us about your employment and what the cost would be to intended parents if you were on bed rest and unable to either work or unable to care for your children, so that we can manage the intended parents' expectations. You'll also tell us if you're shy and take a little bit of time to warm up to, or if you're really outgoing and looking for a couple who is just like on all the time. It is so important that those matches happen that way, that you are paired with someone that, feels like you're in a relationship with someone you've known forever, that it feels like the best pair of comfortable jeans you have, or if you're like me, best pair of sweatpants or leggings. So we do our homework based on the information you provide us on that application form, and we score it against intended parents to make sure that if you say, I only want to help a gay couple, I only want to help a single mother, I'm fine with termination, my bed rest or lost wages are $800 a week, whatever all of those pieces look like, it is our job to find you someone whose pieces fit with yours. And so once you filled out that application, we begin to search in our database for an intended parent or intended parents to send you that may just be that fit. So once you filled that out, we then ask you to provide us with some information so that we can collect your pregnancy-related medical records to be sent to the fertility clinic. And we do that because the fertility clinic wants to know, how your pregnancies were, if there were any complications. They want to be able to manage your care in the best way possible. We also will have you speak to a counselor to make sure that, that you understand the nuances of surrogacy and that you understand the process from an emotional perspective, not just from checking the boxes on an application form and taking the medication and getting pregnant and giving these people their baby at the end, but how will you manage your children's response to surrogacy? How will you manage your relationship with your spouse or partner? How will you share this news with your coworkers? All of those pieces are so important, and we want to ensure, really ensure that a counselor has given you those tools to go into your daily life and be able to share your experience as a surrogate, be able to talk about this process from an emotionally healthy and strong position. And so it is so important, it is vital that you have someone to reach out to during the screening process, as well as after and throughout your journey. So the therapist that will do your assessment and connect with you on all these points will also be available throughout your pregnancy and up to 6 months post-birth. That for us is so paramount. It is so important to us that that therapy is there available to you, as well as it's available to your intended parents should they encounter any, tough moments where they may just need someone to speak to and to be able to, sorry, my nose is itchy, and be able to walk them through and to help them navigate the process. So once we have all of that together and you begin looking at intended parent biographies, you will decide, yes, these intended parents are exactly what I'm looking for based on their video and biography. And then, oh my gosh, my nose, I apologize. And then from there, you will be introduced. And the introduction is very simple. We will introduce you by Skype, and you will have one of our staff on that Skype call to ask questions of the intended parents that you may have, but you may not be comfortable asking. We will, ask your questions, we'll ask their questions at the end. We hope that you enjoyed connecting with these people and would like to continue that. And so if you are interested in continuing that, you'll be emailing, FaceTime, you may meet in person if you live in the same city or nearby. It's important to us that you build a relationship that is going to grow organically. This is not a business transaction. They have not hired you. This is a partnership. This is about the space between you and them, and it being connected and based on trust, encouragement, and support. And so it is vital to us that we put and create and build opportunities for you to stay very close, stay very connected with these people that you're going to help. And when we talk to surrogates, currently we have 600 surrogates in our program, either getting started pregnant or completing within the last 6 months. And it is so important that you stay true to the relationship that fits for you. And for some people, that is speaking to their intended parents every day. They want to visit with them, they want to know them, they want to talk to the baby all the time, and FaceTime and Skype. And for others, they're a little bit more private, and that's absolutely okay. And we pride ourselves on making those connections and those matches because of that homework we do at the beginning in terms of asking you, what type of relationship you're looking for, who you are as a person, shared values around termination. All of that is so important and will carry through the entire journey. So once you've been matched, you think that people are great, we then will get you to their fertility clinic to be medically screened. And the medical screening process involves an appointment at their clinic. As I said, sorry, my face is so itchy. An appointment at their clinic, and their clinic could be located in Toronto, it could be in California, it could be in Utah, it could be in Vancouver. So as you're reviewing biographies of intended parents, really just sort of tweak to that, like, where is their clinic? Where would I be traveling? How would I get there? Well, we would book all of the travel for you, and your intended parents would cover the cost of you getting there, the cost of your childcare or wages or whatever it is going to take to get you there. And so you'll go, you'll meet their doctor, you'll go through this medical screening process, and from there you will ask your questions to the doctor, ask about the medical process, ask about the risks of the medication, ask about their success rate, bring a list. Many surrogates, they start out, do I have one here? I don't, but for example, they start out and they'll have a book, like a notebook, and they'll have that notebook with them throughout their journey, and they'll take notes and they'll write down their questions, whether it's for our team. You will have your own finance specialist. You'll have someone that will manage your expenses and your receipts. So, writing down, having lists upon lists, and asking us, asking the clinic, asking anyone that's involved in your journey the questions you need answered. It's so important. We want to make sure that you are comfortable with your journey from beginning to the end. So you go through the medical screening, everything goes absolutely as we knew it would. The clinic says, yeah, you're ready to go. From there, we have a lawyer that we will recommend, unless you have a lawyer you'd prefer to work with. And we will have the lawyers will draft a contract, your intended parents lawyer will draft a contract, and then you will work with your lawyer to tweak that contract and make it yours. So ensuring that every base is covered, that every expense you anticipate throughout a pregnancy, that of course complies with Canadian law, is there and is covered. And so your lawyer will work with you on that. And it's so important that you understand that your lawyer works for you and that they are there to advocate and support you throughout your entire journey. Once your legal contract is done, then you will move on to working with the clinic to get you pregnant. So they will provide you with a protocol or a medication schedule, and they will let you know when they anticipate the scheduled embryo transfer will be. So when I talk about an embryo transfer, we work with gestational surrogacy. So that's surrogacy in which the intended parents have either used an egg donor or they have used their own genetic material. So you have an intended mom who's used her own eggs. Those embryos are frozen and will be thawed the day that they are so one embryo is implanted into your uterus. And the fertility clinic will have ultrasounds and blood work and some items for you to tick off as you go forward. And then the big day arrives. We fly you, or you drive, or if you're close enough to the clinic, get there, the embryo is implanted. It takes 2 weeks to find out that you're pregnant. And from there, it really is a pregnancy as usual. The only difference is you have people who are going to make this their life, and they are going to encourage and support you and cheerlead, and you will watch people become parents right before your eyes because of your contribution to their process. And it is everything, let me tell you. So depending where your intended parents live, they may attend appointments. If they're further away, they may Skype or FaceTime into the appointments should your care provider allow them. And when the big day comes, when we talk to intended parents and surrogates, they of course want to be in the delivery room with one another, and we hope that's an opportunity available at your hospital, depending on the hospital's rules at any given time. But throughout the entire journey, as you're building up to the delivery, we are here to support you. You will have a support staff that is assigned to you to support, encourage, help answer questions. You will have a finance team specialist. You will have your intended parents who you will have just this, we hope, a beautiful insulated relationship with. And, when things get off course, because relationships can be difficult, we're here to help you get things back on track at any step of the way. We stay involved and as a support up to 6 weeks post-birth, and even beyond. We have a fantastic online community, and many of our surrogates, once they've completed a journey, if they aren't coming back for another one, they will still stay connected. They will stay close. They've, generally made a number of friends throughout the throughout the process. And so it's really important for us to really stay close and stay connected and have you a part of our community. So that really is Surrogacy 101, the basics. If anyone has any questions, I would love to answer them for you now.
Hi, Leah. We have a few questions here from Brooklyn. Number one, she says it seems quite expensive for the intended parents. Does this cause them any financial hardship?
Sure. So all of the intended parents who enter our program have been given all of those details around the financial aspects, and surrogacy is expensive, absolutely. And so we want to ensure two things. The first one is that the financial aspects are never visited on a surrogate, and that's why you will have your own finance specialist and your intended parents will have a finance specialist. We work in a way to ensure that you are never in a position to speak about money with the intended parents, and that your expenses are managed directly through us and through a reimbursement account that we set up for you. And this is an expensive process, and so many intended parents are selling their house, asking family and friends, taking out loans. Many employers now are offering family building packages, so they are able to build their families through surrogacy with help from their employer and their health benefits.
One more question we have here. They would like to know if they're responsible to cover the cost of their lawyer.
No, so there will be no out-of-pocket costs to you as a surrogate. So if we assign a lawyer to you or help you find a lawyer, the intended parents are responsible to pay that bill. So they will pay that directly to us, and we will pay that bill on your behalf. If you have a medical appointment, if anything comes up, that is a pregnancy-related expense, we absolutely will take care of it for you on behalf of your intended parents.
Thank you, Leah. That's all of the questions that we have today.
Excellent. Well, thank you, everyone. We'll be sending you an email with a link to this webinar, and we'll also have some information coming out to you that we hope will answer any further questions that you have. And thank you so much for being a part of this webinar today.